You finally get a little rest, and Sunday night seems to take it all back. Nothing has happened. The laptop is still closed, but your shoulders tighten. Your mind is already answering emails that haven't arrived. If that's you, hear this first. You are not failing at rest. Rest can give you back some strength, but it can't change the load waiting for that strength. If everything is still important when you return to work on Monday, recovery has nowhere to land. So the real question is, what in the load has to change? We're not going to make you better at carrying everything. We're going to sort the load. What must hold? What must move? What must change? And what can wait? By the end, you'll have one honest next move and words you can take into the right room, because being built for pressure does not mean being built to carry every pressure. Welcome to I Am Built for Pressure. I'm not here as someone who has always handled workplace pressure perfectly. I haven't. We're learning this together, and I'm not going to hand an exhausted person another list and pretend the workplace disappears. Now, last episode, complaint became a signal. Today, we're going to give that signal somewhere to go. The tool is the priority lock, the L in clear. Now, before we go any further, one quick distinction. Not a lecture, just enough accuracy to keep us honest. The World Health Organization describes burnout as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. It names the three patterns: exhaustion, growing distance, negativity or cynicism toward the job, and feeling less effective at work. Sound familiar? In human language, your energy is gone. Work you used to care about starts feeling far away. Familiar tasks take more from you than they used to. That doesn't mean every tired week is burnout, but the definition gives us a clue. Burnout isn't a verdict on your character. It can grow in the relationship between a person and work. Workload, staffing, lack of control, unfairness, values, conflict, poor leadership, and unsafe conditions can all be part of that relationship. So maybe the next question is not, how do I recover harder? Maybe it is, what am I returning to? Let me show you someone. We'll call this person Jordan. Jordan is hypothetical, but this work week will feel real. Jordan leads a small team with one position vacant. There's a client deadline, a new initiative, a team member who needs support, and an inbox full of quick questions. Quick questions are fascinating, and they are often neither. Jordan works later, answers faster, covers the gap, and Jordan is still delivering, which is part of why nobody realizes what this is costing. When you are capable, people can mistake performance for spare capacity. So Jordan takes a long weekend, sleeps, gets outside, starts feeling more human. Then Sunday evening arrives. The phone is face down, but Jordan's mind is already back at work. The break worked. The load waited. I call that the return load. The return load is everything that stayed the same while you were trying to recover. It includes workload, expectations, staffing, culture, and sometimes your unspoken agreement to carry what was never clearly assigned. Maybe that's where you are. Still showing up, still meeting needs, maybe even hearing, I don't know what we'd do without you. That used to feel like praise. Now it feels like a warning, and part of you is wondering that too. Your recovery is only as durable as the load you return to. That isn't blame. It's an explanation for why honest rest can help and still not be the whole answer. Now, we need to ask which part of the load is actually draining you. What if the problem isn't only how much you are carrying, but the conditions in which you are carrying it? Burnout researchers Michael Leiter and Christina Mishlash named 6 common mismatches: workload, control, reward, community, fairness, and values. On paper, those words look like they're built tidy. In real life, they sound like this: I'm responsible, but I have no say. My best work disappears, but every mistake gets a spotlight. I don't trust this room. The rules depend on who you are. This job keeps asking me to cross something I believe. A better planner won't make an unfair system fair. And no productivity app can become a trustworthy coworker. Personal responsibility still matters. It just has to be placed accurately. Even the research points this way. A 2023 review found a small drop in exhaustion after organizational changes. The evidence was limited, but changing workload and giving employees a real voice were among the most promising approaches. Translation, you are allowed to ask whether the work should change too. But maybe you're thinking, that sounds lovely, I don't control the workplace. Fair point. You may not be able to quit tomorrow, hire 3 people, or make the whole institution reasonable for lunch, but a meeting at Ford shows us what has to happen first. In 2006, Alan Mulally walked into Ford as its new CEO. The company was preparing to report a $12.7 billion loss, the biggest annual loss in its 103-year history. Every Thursday, Mulally gathered his leadership team for a business plan review. They reviewed projects in green, yellow, or red. Green meant on plan. Red meant a problem needed attention. Yet every chart was green. Think about that. The numbers were saying crisis. The room was saying everything is fine. Inside that culture, red could feel like failure, a public confession that you didn't belong in the chair. So leaders protected themselves with green. Then one executive, Mark Fields, finally marked a launch problem red. The room went quiet. Mulally applauded, not because the problem was good, because the truth had finally entered the room. Once red stopped meaning failure, the team could help solve what green had been hiding. You may have sat in your own version of that meeting, where everyone knows the load is impossible, but nobody wants to be the first person to actually say it. That is the script we need to flip. Maybe your sentence is, if I admit this load cannot continue, I'll look incapable. Catch it, interrupt it, replace it with something more accurate. If I hide the load, nobody can help make the trade-off. That isn't fake positivity. The deadline and the pressure are still real. The new sentence simply gives the truth somewhere to go. A red status is not a resignation letter. Sometimes it is the first honest act of leadership. The priority lock helps you name what must hold, what needs movement, what has to change, and what can wait. Let's do that without turning your exhaustion into a craft project. Now, talking about projects, grab a sheet of paper or use the back of an envelope if that's what's nearby. Draw 4 spaces. An exhausted person doesn't need more homework. You need an honest decision. So write these words: must hold, must move, must change, must wait. Now, must hold. Must hold is the small number of things you refuse to sacrifice just to keep everything else moving. So ask yourself, whom or what am I responsible to protect? It may be safety, integrity, team health, one essential promise, your marriage, or your ability to function. But here's the hard part for responsible people. We can make everything sacred. If everything must hold, nothing has been prioritized. A priority isn't just something that matters, it's what gets protected when good things compete. Now, must move. Must move is the 1 or 2 outcomes that need a real next step. Not the whole project, not fix my life. It's the next move that makes the problem smaller or clearer. Ask yourself, what carries a real consequence if it doesn't move? What action would reduce uncertainty? Send the request, clarify the deadline, choose the owner, make the appointment. Burnout can make the whole field feel heavy. Must move makes the field smaller. Must change. Now, must change, let's take a breath before this one, because must change is the category responsible people often avoid. Many of us are excellent at adapting. It's one of our gifts, but it becomes a trap when we keep rearranging ourselves around a workload, a system, or expectation that needs to be addressed. Ask, what have I been surviving for so long that I have stopped asking whether it should continue? What keeps taking the rest away as soon as I return? What would need to change for this load to become more honest? and who must be included for that change to become real. Maybe it requires a supervisor, partner, doctor, counselor, HR, or another qualified person. A private list is only the beginning. The conversation is part of the change. Clarity that never enters the right room remains a private wish. Must wait. Must wait is good, legitimate work that doesn't get to compete for today's attention. Wait doesn't always mean never. It can mean not now, not first, or not by me. So ask, what matters but doesn't carry today's consequence? What can be scheduled, delegated, reduced, or released? Give waiting work a date, an owner, or a decision. Waiting without a place becomes guilt. Waiting with a decision becomes clarity. Now look at the page. Must hold protects what matters. Must move creates traction. Must change tells the truth. Must wait protects attention. That is lock the priorities. And now we need to take the page into the real room. But before we do, please allow me to explain that this conversation is deeply connected to the book I'm finishing, Built for Pressure. The book is designed to help you think clearly, stand steady, and respond wisely when life gets heavy. Part of the reason I wrote Built for Pressure is that I've learned pressure rarely announces what it's taking from us. We usually recognize the cost later, when our clarity is gone, our patience is thin, and the people we love are getting whatever is left. The book is about interrupting that pattern. It's coming soon, and if you would like to be among the first to know when it's available, you'll find the link below. Now, let's bring this back to Jordan and what you can do before burnout makes the decision for you. Because Jordan is going to make the trade-off visible. Must hold the health of the team and the essential client promise. Must move, define the 2 client deliverables and get the struggling team member a clear next step. Must change, delay or reduce the new initiative while the position is vacant and stop making Jordan the owner of every request. Must wait, the routine report and the optional committee meeting. Now, Jordan doesn't walk into the supervisor's office waving 4 boxes like courtroom evidence. Jordan simply tells the truth about capacity. I want to protect the client deadline and the health of the team. With our current capacity, I can move these 2 outcomes this week. The new initiative needs a later start, a reduced scope, or another owner. Which trade-off do you want us to make? That isn't refusing to work. That's making the work honest. If you don't lead a team, your version may be simpler. I cannot move A and B by Friday. C needs a new date or another owner. Is that the order you want? And if your immediate thought is, my supervisor won't like that, I hear you. Clarity doesn't guarantee that the person across the table will respond wisely. It does stop an impossible expectation from remaining invisible. The sheet is not the courage. Taking the truth into the right room is, but there are 2 ways responsible people can use this tool against themselves. The first trap is putting everything under must hold. Responsible people confuse I care about this with I must carry this. Those aren't the same sentence, and not every need is your assignment. Not every request is a calling. Not every disappointed person is evidence that you made the wrong decision. Now, the second trap is putting yourself under must wait forever. Your health waits, your family waits, the honest conversation waits, the appointment waits, the boundary waits. Maybe nobody told you to abandon yourself. It just happened one small postponement at a time. Eventually, must wait becomes a storage unit for your own life. That isn't responsibility. That's disappearing from your own life. And leaders, please don't hand this framework to an overloaded person and say, prioritize better, while refusing to make a trade-off yourself. When demand is greater than capacity, someone will choose the trade-off. If the leader refuses, tired people make it quietly through long hours. Missed details, resentment, sickness, turnover, or thinner work is everywhere. A leader who refuses to choose doesn't eliminate trade-offs. The leader pushes the exhausted to the brink, driving them into obscurity. Name what must hold. Name what can move. Name what leadership will change. Name what can wait without punishment. And sometimes the honest answer is that 4 categories aren't enough. One reason burnout can be easy to miss is that the person closest to the edge may still be getting everything done. The emails are answered, the deadline is met, people are still saying, "You are amazing." Inside, recovery stops lasting. Care starts hardening into cynicism, and familiar work begins taking more effort for less effectiveness. Those signs don't prove that you have burnout. They just tell you to stop treating the pressure as normal background noise. During a heavy season, run it weekly. 10 minutes, 4 categories, 1 honest change. Listen to the complaint that keeps repeating. Don't shame it or live inside it. Ask what it's telling you. Sometimes the problem is not your character. It is the design of the work. That is information. That is responsible decision making with accurate information. Okay, let's go back to Sunday night. You get some rest. You started feeling like yourself again. Then the return load came back into view. Rest didn't betray you. Maybe you were asking rest to make a decision it cannot make. Rest can return some strength, but your priorities decide what the strength gets spent on. Ford's red status meaning leaves us with a needed humility. A problem named is not a reputation ruined. It is a decision made possible. And for those of us who lead from faith, stewardship was never about pretending we are limitless. A mission can matter deeply, and the method can still be unsustainable. Changing the method may be how the calling survives without consuming the person carrying it. Some loads require strength. Some requires structure. Some require support. Some need to be put down. Wisdom knows the difference. So here is your one clear move. Before this day ends, take 10 minutes and make the priority lock. What must hold? What must move? What must change? What must wait? Circle one item under must change. Write the name of the person who must be included and schedule that conversation. Not every pressure will disappear tomorrow, but it doesn't have to remain shapeless. You can name it, order it, ask for help, make the trade-off visible. You can protect what matters without pretending you can carry everything that matters at the same time. I don't want this channel to make us better at ignoring what pressure is costing. I want it to help us become honest enough to carry what matters and wise enough to stop calling everything ours. That isn't weakness. That is stewardship. That is leadership. That is clarity under pressure. Being built for pressure does not mean being built to carry every pressure. Cut the noise, lock the priorities, carry what matters. If this put language around your week, subscribe and stay with me through this season. In the comments, give me one word: hold, move, change, or wait. And if someone you care about is holding everything together while disappearing inside the load, send this as a way to begin an honest conversation. Next episode, we are talking about AI at work, whether it helps us execute what matters or simply create more noise faster.